All right, chat. We'll be joining you in just a moment. Let's see how the audio situation plays out. And here we go. Hello, and welcome again to TechnoPoverty. I'm Henry.
I'm Jakob.
And we're playing MAXIMO, Ghost to Glory, talking fantasy. That's sort of the thing TechnoPoverty does. We look at books related to the genre, we crisscross ideas with the chat, and we just kind of have fun with it all. Something I'm looking forward to this playthrough is talking about The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin.
Never heard of it. Exciting.
Le Guin is a very, you should look into Le Guin. There's a book called The Dispossessed that's really short. I highly suggest you read. Le Guin was very into kind of the stuff we've been talking about here with like, conditioned identities and understanding you can perceive things from other frameworks. A lot of The Left Hand of Darkness has to deal with the protagonist, Gendry IE. He's like an ambassador to this alien planet that's being considered to be inducted into like an intergalactic civilization.
Yeah.
And so he's observing their culture and determining like if they're fit for it.
Ooh, okay.
And it's an androgynous alien culture species, so they can switch between male and female. And also because of their weather cycle, there's like these extremely harsh winters to be endured on this planet. And so it's an observation on how, it's very anthropological. It looks into how, because of those weather systems and those systems of biology, just how that affects the culture and the mindset, the way these people communicate. And it's interesting because like I was always told it was a work of science fiction. It is definitely a work of science fiction. I'm talking about space-faring aliens and all that.
Yeah.
But it feels very much like an old-timey kind of adventurer's book. And when I say that, I'm talking about like something like The Wager or, stories of dudes going through the Arctic back in the late 1800s, like having to hug each other to stay warm and just like, standard social conventions being thrown out the window for the sake of survivalism, and not in like a cannibalistic way, but just in a way where, you see these people have to be vulnerable with each other in order to survive. So yeah, there's a lot of cool shit going down in Left Hand of Darkness. As always, I'm suggesting these books, but don't take these streams as complete rundowns or like the final word or even a full summary of what goes on in them. It's mostly, I'm looking at the ideas, I'm relating to the game. If you've done one or the other, you might find it worth exploring the other. But there's a quote that really stuck with me when I read this book. And one of the alien civilizations, there's two of them on the planet. They're like on the brink of a war, if I remember right. The protagonist gets caught up in like a more convoluted political struggle than I care to run down right now. But one of the civilizations has a quote that they say they value presence over progress. It's about the moment and being in the now more so than worrying about like what to do for tomorrow. And I think that's something worth considering, both in the way last playthrough, I wasn't being very present in MAXIMO. I almost got a complete game death. I lost all my coins. To be honest, I did some grinding over the weekend off camera just to rework my death coins and my money and my lives. But I didn't, advance any levels. You're not missing any new parts of the game.
Unless you really wanted to watch the first level again.
Right. I considered streaming it, but it really was 2 hours of me just kind of ambly running through the first level a few times while listening to podcasts.
Nice. Hey, L-Man X, what's up?
Yeah, exactly, King of Mystery. I forgot how to stab. And like the presence over progress thing, I was so caught up with progressing through the game that I wasn't taking note of like my present inventory, making use of it. And to tie that into the news, there's a lot that's been going on with the abundance agenda as far as like this grassroots kind of neoliberal push towards like what the Democratic Party should do next. And it's kind of, Ezra Klein's been pitching it, and it's kind of pitch opens with telling you like, yo, this is what 2050 could look like if you just listen to us and do these things. It's like, well, can we get to 2050 if our infrastructure's in the state it is, if the ecological disasters we're looking at? I don't know. I feel pretty hopeless about making it to 2030.
We're driving on.
And when I say that, I don't mean all is lost. I just mean the present form of society seems like it needs to undergo some major reconstruction. I don't know. We need to focus on the now. Is kind of a thing, both in the real world and in our escapism. I do think.
Yeah.
For how much we are a channel about playing video games and literature and books and stuff that may be seen as like genre escapism, there is a line between like escapism that's completely head in the sand, telling you not to look at anything or consider anything in the world, like that all sucks, why don't you come look at the smiley unicorn?
Yeah.
And escapism that's like, hey man, no, we feel it too. Like, we're all articulating through innuendo or metaphor maybe anxieties that are felt but hard to articulate or see progress done on in a more material realm. But we can imagine, and maybe through that imagining, figure out ways to sort things out elsewhere. So, you know, that's kind of how I feel in general when it comes to like,
Beautiful.
Does your entertainment need to be political? Does your entertainment need to be grounded? Does your entertainment need to be completely escapist? Maybe I'm just also reconciling my own habits of consumption and hoping I'm doing something productive with it.
Yeah.
That's part of the techno-poverty mindset.
Definitely want to be more with it.
Yeah, I like what you're saying there, WizWorld Live. All right, we were having some minor issues with the audio before. I think we're all good now. I'm going to fade it on MAXIMO and see if I can hear what's going on with it. If not, we may take a moment to get the headset stuff reorganized so that we can hear the game.
Excellent.
All right. Chat, can you hear the game? Because I cannot.
Audio's going through.
Yeah, it looks like audio's going through on the monitor, so everybody out there should be able to enjoy this.
Cool, WizWorld.
Thank you, WizWorld.
Yeah. Exciting. Level 14, The Dark House.
Shiver me timbers. So besides the presence over progress quote summing up the last run, again, Left-Handed Darkness feels very much like an old-timey, like Arctic adventurer's novel, more so than a work of science fiction. It kind of reminds me of Star Trek in that way. A lot of Star Trek episodes are, you know, genre templates with the Star Trek sheen more than like super transgressive sci-fi reimaginings of the things.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I'm mostly familiar with the original series and Next Generation. I've seen some choice Deep Space Nine. Other than that, I'm not a Trekkie, I will be honest.
Yeah,
I'm a fan, but I would not consider myself a Trekkie.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but definitely am not deep into the world of any of the Star Treks.
I'm going to rectify this headphone situation. I'm going to put the bumper up for just a moment while we get that all in order, chat. So
We'll see you in a minute.
yeah, we'll see you in a moment.
Thanks for holding tight.
Thanks for holding tight. The little break time bumper is going to be up, but really it should say technical difficulties. We even straight up shot one, I believe, that said technical
It's true,
difficulties.
we got the whole thing.
Be right back. All right, I think we have a proper fix, chat. Oh yeah,
I'm getting,
much better. I can hear his little jumps.
oh, excellent. I'm getting scam text messages. I love it.
Speaking about presence over progress, Jacob and I have been editing clips and posting things and
Yeah.
Jacob, in like playing back footage of yourself, is there stuff you're like noticing or like, I feel that way. I feel, you know, I notice my tics and like things I want to do better next session, and it kind of speaks to that whole like taking note of being present.
Oh, absolutely. Man, honestly, I gotta be better at asking questions because I just get so caught up in things. And then I will just forget to be interacting with like everything that's going on. I'll get caught in my head and I will not be like verbalizing what is going on, which is very hard to watch admittedly for other people.
I will have like ideas in mind for things I want to talk about, and then I notice like a chat interaction will just throw it off. In a good way, though. I do really love the improvisational nature of the chat.
Yeah, we should have a little whiteboard or something, some post-it notes, and we'll just tag them right there.
Professor Lando style.
Yeah, and then that way I gotta be better.
Professor Lando still make videos? I'm subbed to him on YouTube. I haven't seen any output in a while.
I don't think so.
Very informative man.
Yeah, it was great. It's wonderful stuff. Man.
Oh, okay.
Oh, little save. Does he go over the edge, or does he always like jump back?
I don't know, actually. I don't really make use of that. But I'm just noting, because I saw that armor using the overhead look earlier, there's a little platform here.
Oh, yeah.
Again, being more present. Getting hit, of course, in doing so, because, haha, video games.
Too present.
Too present. No, but I got the golden armor, Super Mario Star.
Excellent.
This fucker.
All right, that's good.
Got him.
Man, yeah, you did some good grind. You got almost 800 coin.
Oh yeah, I can show my stats.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just played the first level a few times, got 11 lives, 779 coins. I have 6 fairies, 7 death coins. The keys tap out at 9. I would honestly probably have like 20 keys, but you can't collect more than 9 keys at a time. But keep in mind, I think when I die, it's like 4 death coins, so I still have to be mindful. It's not like I'm just rolling in enough death avoidance. Oh, but these guys were giving me trouble last time. And I have a lot of trouble hitting with that directional stab when the camera's not directly behind me. But
yeah.
That's kind of the play. Or what the play is supposed to be. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very forgiving. It takes a second, too, for it to even realize what you're doing.
It's because, so this stab is, like, it one-hits those guys, but you have to hit forward with your sword swipe, and if they're to the side, it gets very tricky doing that.
Oh, yeah. The micro adjustment towards. Oh no. It's pretty easy when, the camera's right behind you. Oh crap. But yeah, like right there, no way I'm going to try to pull that off. Yeah, not happening.
I'm sure there's like pro strat speedrunners that do.
L-Man X1, never be afraid to live life forwards and understand it backwards. I feel like that's Merlin. Right? Merlin's the one who's going traveling backwards.
He's also kind of trapped in the land of dreams by the end of it. We should watch Excalibur on the Discord at some point.
Oh, that'd be fun. I haven't seen that.
It's a very lavish 80s swords and sorcery movie. It's also a great take on the Arthurian legend.
That's fun. I like that.
It's one of Zack Snyder's favorite movies.
Interesting. Famous bisexual filmmaker, Zack Snyder.
At least in our universe.
Yeah, and in our universe is incredible in that way.
But boy, he does know how to frame up them people.
Oh yeah. When did this book come out?
It should say on the copy page, I want to say 67, but it might be earlier. Chat, I apologize. I should have done more Left-Handed Darkness rereading.
Nice.
69, nice. From what I understand too, because it was my first Le Guin novel, I read The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, which is a really good short story. I should share that across the post because it's up on the internet. It's just a short story.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, we can throw it in the Discord. Recommendation.
But from what I understand, there's like a cycle of like books that Left-Handed Darkness is part of. I believe also The Dispossessed and The Lathe of Heaven, which are the other Le Guin I have. I also have, I want to read the Earthsea books. I got a big omnibus of it.
I've never even heard of those. I'm intrigued by.
Yeah, see, that's interesting too, because like, I think of Le Guin and Earthsea and all that. I remember very much being like a thing recommended to me by like librarians and older kind of like hippie countercultural fantasy nerds.
Interesting. I never really
because there's like Dune and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
but like
Earthsea
was like, oh, but this is
if you're like an actual nerd.
Some deep lore.
Hell yes. I get on some real shit. Nice. Yeah, stab that motherfucker. Excellent.
What's Wizworld saying?
Wizworld, the problem I encounter with being extremely present is I still have to like cook and exercise and go to the store and all that.
Yeah.
Requires some amount of planning. For sure. But they can be an exercise.
No.
That sucks. It can definitely be a thing to focus in on. Like to just live presently in the things you are doing in that moment.
Yeah, no, there's definitely like a need for, that sort of long-term planning. I mean, for the sake of survival.
And something to look forward to, too. That's also
knowing what you're going to be able to do in the next few months, like, or else you're just always nervous and scarcity-minded if you're, in the moment to moment.
Yeah.
I guess the present thing, I think, is more, to me, a method of, like, engaging with the small moments, or taking time to engage with the moments of the now that you can savor.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to be a lot better. Obviously not on this because we stream, we have to like post things, but like trying to not be scrolling on the weekends because I've got my 9 to 5 and it's so easy to watch hours go away just scrolling through things.
I thought about that recently we've been watching The Righteous Gemstones. And each episode of the 4th season has just been a very like dense and fulfilling thing. And I remember like I used to watch so many movies compared to like, so much scrolling I do now.
Yeah. And short form content is where everyone's watching things. But man, we used to have seasons of shows that were like 24 episodes, like genuinely all the time. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that is also, constraints for the market and such. Cool,
For
there's
sure.
a life in that chest.
Nice, that's gonna be very helpful. And 18, 19. Also, to Hamill's Mammal World, how'd you guys meet? We met film meetup, right?
To read, see, I can't read on the porcelain throne. I don't like taking books with me to the shitter. If you mean like physical books, like I am guilty of phoning it, but
yeah, I take like princess shits. They're way too short for me to be reading like chapters of books.
Yeah, if I'm on the toilet for too long, I'm gonna get like something's gonna get pinched.
That's true. That's really where I should just reserve my scrolling. I mean, I do scroll there anyways, but that should be like the dedicated time.
Literal actual ship hosting.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if it's going to be happening, it's like, it's only going to be in this defined amount of times, and then I can be doing other things with the rest of my time, which is important.
There's a great thread I saw, speaking of the whole being present thing. I feel like that's so disrespectful. Oh no, Barney's in kill mode.
Yeah, she's a loud dog.
But a thread about like AI art, like automating art to the point where it's trying to like dehumanize creator and kind of elevate consumer as, god damn it, same thing. Rawr.
I hate platforming.
But a lot of the present thing comes to mind because like when you're present, you're taking inventory of like what you can actually do in the now. And you're not just like passively consuming. And just a lot of the conditioning of like this AI, like anti-art is about diminishing the creative side of people. Like not even like in a way where it's like, oh, paid artists are getting screwed, but like you personally as someone with the ability to like exercise your expression through creativity. Like,
yeah, dude, art is very important, especially like just doing
even
things.
if you're making something sloppy, you're still like experiencing yourself in the process of making something, and you're kind of learning something about like how you process and externalize and like literalize ideas you have within your head into like a physical form.
Yeah, I really like and connect with the phrase like the magic is in the work you're avoiding.
Yeah, that too.
Like that is so very true because the most rewarding things are whenever it's like a slog and just doing anything. Again, even if it's like a creative thing that ultimately is like not the best or well received compared to others, but it's just important for you to do that for you.
Yeah.
Like, I think that gets lost too with like all of the commodification of like in consumption of art. It's like you just need to make things. Like David Lynch, it's been great. Unfortunately, with David Lynch passing, everyone kind of realizing like just kind of how on the level he was, but like it doesn't matter. Like just make things, do stuff. He has these weird ideas, wants to try things, and like absolutely worth it. Like go and adventure and try things that are weird because like you never know what might work. Like what speaks to another person on a completely different level than you never thought.
The Big Dream.
Yeah.
He has a fun album worth checking out. Share some
Yeah,
tunes
you
on
turned me on to that album. That was a really good one.
It's Crazy Clown Time.
Yeah. I saw someone today argue that drawing is as hard as building a DIY car.
That's the thing. It's like it's not like you can do little doodles. Like they may not look like Picasso or like Rembrandt, but like they're little doodles. They're yours. Like,
yeah, it's your skill. It's your personal skill. Nice. Do it.
oh no. Oh.
Well, that's confusing.
Okay. I know what to do now.
So
And the answer is squeeze your wrists and make caveman noises as you fail at video game. That is how your brain materializes new ideas.
yeah.